Good morning and welcome to Tea in the Morning. I'm your host T, and let's get to it. So you guys, Sean Combs' fate now lies in the hand of 12 jurors, and it looks like they can make their final decision this morning. Let's talk about it. So the jurors in Sean Combs' trial reached a verdict on all but one count. They said yesterday when Pop was sitting in the court and he heard that the jury has come back with half the counts ready to go, but they were deadlocked on one. They said Pop started to slump down in his chair, put his head down, and had a grim look on his face, and I don't know what he expected. I do not understand why they decided to go for a speedy trial. I guess he assumed that he had this under control, that he was going to be able to manipulate and do all the things he's used to doing over the years, but it wasn't going to work. His day looks like it may have come. So the juries of the trial on Tuesday in the federal case against the music mogul Sean Combs had come to a decision, but it did not announce it because it was at a deadlock on the final charge of racketeering conspiracy. The jury left for the night and will continue deliberating this morning. The jury, which is made up of 8 men and 4 women, said they were members with the unpersuadable opinions on both sides when it comes to the racketeering count. But after deliberating for more than 12 hours, they reached a verdict on the 4 other counts in the case. 2 each are put on the SEX trafficking and transportation to engage in prostitution. Mr. Combs had pleaded not guilty to all charges, and his lawyers have denied that any of his SEX activities with the women in the trial were non-consensual. Now, after the jurors alerted the courts of their partial verdict at about 4 or 5 p.m. on Tuesday, the judge, who is presiding over the case, brought them into the courtroom and encouraged them to continue their discussions. The judge said to them, "I ask at this time that if you keep deliberating on this case." He reminded the jurors of the instructions that said no juror should surrender his or her beliefs for the purpose of returning a unanimous verdict. And at this point, the jury decided to conclude its deliberation for the day and decided it will return today at 9 a.m. When the jury first sent its note about its partial verdict, there was no sign in the courtroom of the seriousness of the message. Earlier notes from the jurors over the previous day and half of the day had a concern with legal details. But with the minutes, Puffy slumped in his chair as the 8 of his lawyers huddled around him, all of them looking grim. They said Mr. Combs appeared somber, his head bowed and his hands folded into his lap. His lawyers passed the jury's note around, closely scrutinizing it. Of course they would. They know that they were going to lose this case from the beginning. That's why they had all these antics going on. People out there with free pop shirts. I mean, anything to distract what was really going on. The racketeering conspiracy charge accused Puff, the famed music producer, also known as Puff Daddy and Diddy, of running a criminal enterprise for his employees that was responsible for misdeeds over 2 decades. Once the note was delivered, lawyers for both sides told the judge they were in favor of continuing deliberations. Maureen Comey, the lead prosecutor, suggested employing an Allen charge, a set of instructions given to the hung jury urging it to come to a verdict. Mark Angiolillo, The lead defense lawyer asked the judge not to press jurors towards a verdict, considering they've been deliberating only for a day and some hours. So, Puff's lawyers do not want them to be pressured. If they can't come to a decision, they can't come to a decision, which makes it good on their side. Prosecutors are saying, not so fast. Your job's not up. This ain't what we doing. Go back in there, think about it, and then come back with us with what you think, with a verdict. Okay. I don't think we need to do anything to move them along. They're moving along fine, Mr. Angelo. So Puff's lawyer said, listen, they're doing fine. We don't have to do anything else. Let them do what they need to do. But the judge took to the more conservative approach, reading back parts of legal instructions that he had already delivered. Mr. Combs, who was 55, was arrested in September on the charges and had remained in detention since then. He faces a sentence that could extend to life in prison if convicted of the most serious charges. So that's it. That's nuts. But this is what Puffy has done to himself and his children, which is really more of the annoying side of this that's really making me upset, right? But Puff has managed to come out of the dark and into the light, but so we thought. Meanwhile, he was in the dark the whole entire time, y'all. Living a life, abusing people, manipulating people, just doing whatever he wants without any consequences up until July of 2025. And they're saying he may face life in prison. And I feel bad for his kids, because his kids really, according to popular belief, so some of the kids have nothing to do with this. Now, we know there is his twin, okay? King Combs, who allegedly have other charges put up against him. Now, I'm telling you, you know how they all say you look just like your parents, right? And some of us fight that back, but we joking about that. This time, I'm pretty sure 5 years ago it was cool. Oh, you look just like your pops. Yeah, okay, good, yeah, right? Love, daddy, Puff. Ask him now. Tell him he looks like his father and see what his reaction is. I mean, that's his dad. He might still be okay with it, but his future isn't going to be so easy. Okay? And the twins who just graduated high school, they just went to their prom. Their life is supposed to begin now, and it's actually ending because 3 of the kids are losing both parents. They already lost their mother back in 2018, and now their father, which he's caused on himself. So, that's really sad. When you do these things, you need to think about all the consequences. If you have a family, you have children, you need to think of this, because this is what's happening. You are now leaving them without both parents. So, to convict Mr. Combs on racketeering charges, jurors must find that he knowingly joined an unlawful conspiracy, and that Puff agreed that he or a co-conspirator would commit at least 2 criminal acts to further the enterprise. Prosecutors have said that he and a loyal inner circle of Mr. Combs' employees carried out various crimes over more than a decade, including drug distribution of unknown substance or illegal substance, we should say, kidnapping, arson, bribery, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution, and forced labor. And this don't sound good for him, because he literally did it. They can prove that he did this. That's why if you run in the business, y'all stop mixing them together. That is why everything is supposed to be separate. You got your employees running around here doing all your dirty work. And now look, you got slapped with a racketeering charge. Under the SES trafficking charges, prosecutors have argued that Mr. Combs used violence, financial control, and threats to manipulate his girlfriends into physically taxing SEX sessions with hired men, which were called freak-offs or hotel rooms. The two women at the center of the case, Cassandra Vittori and the woman known by Jane, as testified for a combined 10 days. The defense asserted throughout the trial that these women were willing participants in the SEX marathons. Now listen, now I hear everybody talking about, oh, they were willing to do it, and all this, but if you're hearing all this stuff that he knows where you live, holding passports, taking IDs, running up on your friend's house, running up on your people's house, blowing up cars, threatening family members and all that. I mean, really. This is not the movies, it's real life. This is how this happens. This is how you get stuck in a situation. Everybody's like, oh, why didn't they just leave? How when they know where you live? How would they know who your peoples are? How would they know where you going next? How when they got your passport? How when they got your ID? How when they're outside stalking you outside your house? Where you going? How you going? And then nobody was believing. Remember, nobody was believing that Puff was doing all this. At least not the law enforcement. So they wasn't going to believe them. Nobody else, nobody else. Stevie J and all of them, they would have laughed in their face. Oh, this is not happening. Even though they seen it was happening, but they were afraid. They're afraid of him. And it looks like he got his day. And today just might be that day. So after the jury left for the day on Tuesday, Puff turned to face the members of his family who were seated near the front of the public gathering. He blew them a kiss and put his hand on his heart. His mother rose and whispered something to him. "I'll be all right," he said to her. "Love you." That's sad. That's really, really sad. That's really, really sad. His mother is older. Now, I have my theories and opinions about her as well. But if we take all that out and we just look at the family point of view of this, she's older. You would definitely, unfortunately, if you go down for these things they got you on, and you face 10 years, forget 15 or even 10 years, the idea that you may never see your mother again is another reason why you shouldn't do any. I mean, really, if you're the head of the family and you've been taking care of them for so long, and even though you thought you had them set up, because let's remember though, this is a side note, because this is a big deal. All of the rights to all of the ownerships to Bad Boy, all of the artist music that he had was given over to his mother and his son. So they still are in control of the artist's music. Okay? Maze, Total, Craig Mack. Well, I'm not sure, because I think his wife, his ex-wife, has gotten all those rights. But there's a lot of artists who are still waiting for what's owed. So this is not all over everybody. Just because Puff is now got caught up to part of his demons and part of the things that he's done, there's still so much more to talk about. Well, we're going to find out if after 9 o'clock, well, they're coming back to deliberate at 9. So if by the end of the day or tomorrow, because this is supposed to be done before 4th of July, what will the verdict be? Well, keep watch. We'll keep looking out for it, and we'll give you all the information that we have when it comes to this verdict. But until then, I hope you shine as bright as the sun and enjoy your beautiful day. And until then, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.